Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are in the world right now. My name is Angie Glynn. I'm a motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and author of the forthcoming book, Faith in Crisis. I'm here with the one and only Marina Nanny. We were just on, 5 hours ago, speaking about the power of the heart. Just a very wonderful segment that we did. It was an impromptu, nothing was planned, no preparation. We just spoke from our hearts. And now today we are doing a segment on testimony, and it goes along with my book, Faith in Crisis. Back to you, Marina.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Radio W.O.R.K.S World. Angie, you were talking to us earlier about your book and what you want to share with your readers, with your audience, with your ideal clients. And we were talking about why at some point in your life, when you find your calling, people, and you experience that as well, people think that being on a mission, you have to go starving. And I had to talk to you about charging people for your services the same way a doctor would charge for their time, same way a builder will charge for building your house, same way a carpenter would charge for crafting a door. And you share with me that you felt overwhelmed. So you know your worth, you know what you can give, but you weren't sure you could charge for it. Why was that?
Well, I think it just really went with the fact that I felt like, I should be giving away to people, and I was in this mindset. I'm here to help people, and I think there's so many of us that feel that way when we start out as entrepreneurs. We want to help people, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. But then we don't realize that everything has a price, and we all have a value. And it was just amazing when we were talking off the radio about how we all have to realize that we have this worth, we have this value. I'm teaching on self-worth and value, and it was just eye-opening to me that I wasn't really seeing that in myself for some reason, and feeling like that for some reason everyone else's worth and value was more important than my own, I guess, so to speak. So it was really eye-opening and made me realize that, we're here for a reason. We're here to help as many people as possible. And as I go out and deliver my program to people, that yes, I'll be just like anyone else, just like a doctor, a dentist that charges a fee for my program. So I'm just really appreciative that you brought that to light for me today.
You see, for a long time, I thought that there are other people out there who can do this better than me. But then just turned out as a feedback from the people I helped that actually they wanted me. They needed me. I somehow had what they needed. And once I structure what I have and give it within a structure, everything changed for them and for me. For it's like a bridge, bridging somebody who is out there, and you can't reach out because you don't have the bridge. But once I created the system, people start walking over the bridge. People start coming to me, and I stop looking for opportunities. I become the opportunity. And this is all part of the self-worth discovery journey, which you are undertaking your clients on. And I'm sure that everybody coming to your program will never look back, simply because you prove that you understand and you know your worth, and as a result, they could understand and know their worth. Over to you, Angie.
That's correct, Marina. I couldn't agree any more with you. And I think it goes to show that we were talking about this earlier. We're all unique and we all have something to share with others. And we each have a unique story. And I had a friend the other day that was telling me that his life was short and boring. And I said, no way. You know, you've inspired so many. There's no way that your life is short and boring. And I think it's important that we all realize that about ourselves, that we each have a powerful message within us. And mine just happens to be, you know, many of the trials that I went through. And that's why we're talking about testimony today, because if you think about it, some of our biggest challenges in life can be turned into a beautiful message that we can share with others. And we all have something unique about us that we can share. And I think that's important too when we're talking about, you know, setting our fee. We're unique, and someone is going to get something from us that they're not going to be able to get from anyone else. So we're excited to be here and talk about testimony today and share some of the trials that I went through to get to this point that I'm at right now. Back to you, Marina.
This is very profound, and is very, not only profound, is very sophisticated. You know, this right now in this moment in time, you are aware of your powers, you are aware of your healing powers, you've been through everything that anyone can imagine, you survived, and now you want to help others create better life choices. And your system is nothing but a recognition for your pain, is nothing but a recognition for your healing powers. And when somebody join your program, when somebody decide to sign up for your program, they will have the same chance to turn their sorrow into a beautiful story, to see who they could become. And basically, I know you have different programs for different people, and you are very keen on working with children, and especially children who are not spending their childhood with their family, and they are in a different environment. So of course they can't change those circumstances because they are minors, and they can't just start their life and reinvent themselves while being in an institution. However, you understand how important, how vitally important is for them to understand their true worth at the very early stages, before they start thinking, I'm not good enough to be loved by my own family. That's why I'm inside this institution. So to start with, that's a massive benefit to society, because you are helping all these future adults to grow with a vision about themselves, to understand exactly what they're made of, to understand exactly how they contribute to the world, to understand exactly how they could grow into the person they need to become. From the other hand, you have people your age who been through similar experiences, who suffered a lot, who lost everything, who been through hell, and now they're wondering if it's any hope for them. And you have a system that basically is showing them step by step how to become the person they really are, how to reinvent their life based on the fact that they're capable to deliver themselves into the world and see the world with a fresh pair of eyes. Because what's happening after you've been hurt, after been struggling, after you've been through a trauma, you lose connection with yourself. You lose who you are. You don't know anymore, because it's a period of shock and confusion, and it's like an after shock after the earthquake. So what's happening? You had everything and then you lost everything, and what's happening? So bringing yourself out from that little place where you feel shrinked and small, and come out into your true size, into your true dimensions. It's a very powerful experience, and happened to me, happened to you. But all you have to know is that your service to the world have to be recognized. And unless you put your name on it, unless you put a price on it, nobody will know. Nobody will know how to find you. Nobody will know how to hire you. Nobody will know how to benefit of your amazing talent and experiences. And you just need to think, how much is that going to cost them if they don't say yes to yourself to hire you? It's not your loss, it's your client's loss, who cannot create that commitment to themselves and invest in themselves. So to me, when it comes to self-worth, is all about buying your strength first, buying into what you are able to deliver. Because no point in creating. Lots of people are writing books, they create so much and nothing gets delivered. But the system you created is specifically designed to help people understand their true worth and giving themselves the chance to buy into their true worth. So once you understand your true worth, then everything changes. So tell me more about your own experience, Angie. Why you thought till a month ago that yes, this is what you love, you'll do anything to do this and nothing else because this is what lifts you up, this is who you are, and yet you could not figure out a way to deliver yourself and be valued for what you deliver and be paid for your service.
Absolutely, Marina. The way that I ended up where I'm at now, I just have to be honest. I had to completely hit rock bottom to realize what my value is in life. And that even though I had three major fears my entire life, and over the last 10 years, those three major fears came true for me. And what I realized is that after I hit rock bottom, guess what? My worth and my value never changed. Even though all of those dramatic things, traumatic things happened, it didn't change who I am as a person. It didn't change my worth. It didn't change my value. And I really started to feel like it's my mission to go out and share my story with others and make sure that they realize that every single trial that they're going through, or challenge, or traumatic experience, that's really helping them become the person that they're destined to be. And three of those fears that I was talking about that I worried about since I was just a young girl, one was that I would have a child that would pass away at some point. I don't know why I feared that, but that was one of my fears my whole life. And 10 years ago, that fear became a reality for me. And I struggled. I struggled with my identity after that, and who am I? And I quit my teaching job for a while because honestly, I couldn't connect with the world. And seeing children on an everyday basis, it bothered me. It's like I just couldn't come out of that dark place that I was in. And then a few years ago, I went through a very painful divorce. It was a shock to my system, like you said. It just completely changed my world. It changed who I was. One moment, I'm this mother and wife, and I had a home and 3 dogs. And literally the next day, I woke up and I'm still a mother, but I'm no longer a wife. And it was like a matter of months where I lost my home. 2 of my dogs had passed away, and my ex-husband had taken the other dog. And so my whole identity was completely shifted. And I went through a period of time where I didn't know who I was or what my worth and value was. I felt unworthy and just unaccepted. And it was just, it killed me inside. And then, just even the most recent tragedy that I've gone through is the loss of my father. I worried about this my entire life. My dad came into my life when I was 9 years old. So he was, my stepfather, but I just worshiped him and thought of him as my biological father. And he showed me love and just acceptance. And he was the most tender-hearted man you could ever come in contact with. And he had been sick right before I met him. He had a major heart attack. And so, of course, as a child, I worried then that he was going to have another heart attack. And the funny thing is he went through several trials where he had many heart attacks. He had cancer a few times, and he pulled through every single time. This man's strength was amazing to me. But I still feared that he would leave me someday. He was my spiritual mentor. And I thought, what am I going to do if he leaves me? Guess what? Back in February 7th, I believe it was, he lost his fight. And I became unglued. And for a short moment, I thought, I'm going to give up this motivational speaking because, this is too painful for me. So I had to really dig within myself and discover who I was again, and really determine that, this happened to me, but my worth and my value haven't changed. And I need to get out there and share my testimony with others so that they can find their powerful message that's hidden within them. Back to you, Marina.
Wow, I'm thinking now of what had happened to you soon after you lost your father. I mean, he's still with you, of course, in your heart. You'll never leave that place. But when you start discovering while reading the Bible that it is normal to be rewarded for your hard work. It is normal to be paid for your work. It doesn't matter if it's a spiritual work, a physical work. It's not relevant what type of work. People should pay you for your work. Could you share that, if you don't mind? I mean, if you mind, that's okay. We can move to the next level of our discussion.
Oh, no, absolutely. We were talking about this off air earlier this morning. And I was saying that I struggled, it's kind of like a limiting belief, I suppose, but I struggled for a while feeling like I'm on this mission to deliver my message to people around the world, give my testimony. And I felt like I almost felt guilty for charging for this service. And, you really brought it out to light for me and said, you're discussing self-worth and value, and you're teaching this to others, and you have to realize that you're of value as well, and so is your message, and so is your story. And so I just really felt like, over the last few months that God was leading me to this and saying it's okay to be a blessing to others, and to get paid to be a blessing, to others. And that's okay. I think there's, a lot of times people think that just because you're doing God's work that you can't be paid for it. And that just isn't the case. And we were saying, Marina, earlier, that there's nowhere in the Bible that it discusses that you can't be paid for your work or your service. And, just as if I was out teaching in a classroom, I would be getting paid for that. Well, I've taken my teaching out, into the world now. And I think we're sharing this with everyone today, because I think as I've come across people and met new people, there's a lot of people that feel this way, that you can't charge for your program. And that's just not the case. And we all need to realize our worth and our value, and that even though we have a powerful message to share and we want to help people, that, we do have to put a value on that, and not be afraid to set a fee for what we offer.
You see, Angie, to me, teaching others to create better life choices, helping other people to heal their pain, to turn their challenge into an opportunity, is a divine job, but it's still a job. So, of course, doesn't take you from 9 to 5 because you are passionate about it. So even after 5 or during your holiday, you are still creating and delivering. Thoughts are coming to you that you never thought you can think, but they're not for you. They are the message for somebody else. So you see, being a teacher, being a coach is not only about knowing your true worth. It's about buying into your worth. Because unless you know your true worth as a coach, you don't know anything. You just think you know. So the more you become aware of your true worth and how much you could charge to create a balance and be fair with your clients, the more you'll be able to deliver, the more you'll be able to perform. So imagine your clients after they get certified through your program as the self-worth coach, how much they could give other people and how many people could say yes because of them. Is like lighting a candle from another candle. And yes, maybe in a very strict transactional world doesn't sound much, but think of all the people who are going to an early grave without the chance to deliver their essence, their divine message. Imagine how many people are just fantasizing about helping other people. They still go to the tube in the morning, to the underground, and they go from A to B. They go to do a job they hate, and they come back, they go sleep, and then they go again, and then they die and take their mission, their divine talent, their God-given gift with them without bringing that into the world. So to me, it's not necessarily something I plan to talk to you about today or discuss this with our listeners, but it's because of what you said to me. That couple of weeks ago, more than a month ago, you start coming across with that message that it is normal to charge to deliver your divine job the same way you would charge to deliver a transactional job. I have this in my mind is coming this quote from Harriet Tubman, and it was about every great dream begins with a dreamer, and this is who you are. You are a professional dreamer. You like it or not. I mean, could sound like, oh my God, what sort of job is that? But actually, even politicians now are talking about dreaming, because
Yes.
what else is their policy than the dream coming true? Came to their mind first, and they had the divine job to bring it out. And I know most people hate politicians, but just think about it. We elect them, and we have to support them to deliver their mission, their dream. And they are professional dreamers. They are paid to deliver the dream. It's
Absolutely.
just their dream is about other people, and it's very hard to please everyone, and perhaps is a very controversial status to start with. But what you have to remember, if you think of all the great presidents America had during history, if you look back, they all always had the strength and they always had the passion to reach for the stars. And I'm not going to give any examples because I'm fascinated by what American presidents are bringing to the world. And it's a total different topic, and you won't be able to stop me. So I don't want to divert too much from our topic today. But in effect, that's the proof that you have the strength. And nothing is too big. Nothing is too challenging. To follow your passion means you are prepared to work hard, harder than ever, and make sacrifices. And Don't allow anyone to limit your dream. You can't just have a big dream and then suddenly it's difficult because it is, and therefore I'm giving up because of why. It's either you do it, you go all in and you invest in yourself, you read another book, you write another book, you you go out there and give it all. It's almost like the only competition that you can't afford to miss. You can't afford to come second because the competition with yourself. You are not racing against somebody else. There are your own limitations on that track. There are only your limitations, your social conditioning, your whatever you were taught that you are not, and discover who you are. And to go on the winner's podium is not only one race, it's constantly fighting your own limitations, your own limits. And how many examples are in sport, and that people who only won the championship because they had the right coach. There is a very good example in Canada, and again, this is another story, we can talk some other time, but basically for 8 years he tried and he missed. Only when he hired the right coach for him, he won the gold medal. And that changed his life. So it's the same with your clients. So they must have tried, because that passion inside is fearless, it's burning you inside if you don't bring it out. So they must have tried, and they must have paid so many programs, they must have bought so many books, and yet they're not delivering. They could create, but they can't deliver because they need you, Angie. They need your program. Over to you, Angie.
Thank you. I totally agree with everything you were saying. And just, it's important that we all realize we have to invest in ourselves. And that's all part of our self-worth journey. And just making sure that you have the right coach. And, if I'm that person for you, then let's get started. I'm excited. I'm ready to move people in a new direction, and just ready to help you discover what your self-worth is and what your value is, so that you can become unstoppable. We were just so excited to be here and speak to you today. We can't wait to come back and wrap up a few more sessions with you. So hang tight, everyone. We hope that you have a fabulous day, and we will see you next time. Back to you, Marina.
From both of us, until next time, remember, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Goodbye.